supervisor for Nationwide Insurance, and he's here to talk about some research he has done on non-human animals and morality. Now, I need to let you know, Tim likes to talk, and we were in school together, and he was supposed to do a 25-minute presentation. I wasn't there, but this has become folklore in our Drake program, and he took an hour and a half. So we triple-checked his slides to make sure he didn't add any more and made sure that the timings were correct. So let's give a big round of applause to Tim.
Thank you. This is my best friend, Stoker, and years ago, I let him out upon coming home on the first date with a woman that I brought with me. Now, after about 15 minutes, I led him back into the house, and as I sat down on the couch and put my arm around the girl, he stood in front of me, squatted down, looked straight in my eyes, and took a crack right on my floor. Now, it may have been because I skipped his walk in order to go on a date. It may have been because the girl I was with absolutely hated dogs and made me take her home before it even let me pick this up. But it got me thinking, is this dog evil? Is he making choices against what I want? So, I was thinking, do animals make moral decisions? Do they know right from wrong? And do they make these decisions based off that? Obviously humans do, but it's a pretty distinct difference between whether animals do or not. Now, I tried to look it up and see, are there ways to define morality? And morality is easily defined as what is right and what is wrong, whether people make decisions based off of that. And in fact, it can be said, for humans, morality is the social glue that holds us all together. Without some sense of what's right and wrong, everybody would be killing each other and doing crazy stuff. Now, does this happen in the animal world? Yes. This is an example of an animal, a little dog named Leon, ran into a burning house to pull out 6 kittens. He did die, but the firefighter brought him back to life through resuscitation. Saving a life, I call that moral. Are there other examples? Well, in this case, we have a whale that beached itself, and it was this area with all of these different sandbars. These people worked tirelessly for about 10 hours, continued to push him off, but he continued to beach himself again. People were getting exhausted, not only the whale, but the helpers. So, sure enough, not far away, you've got your friendly neighborhood dolphin that just hangs out at the beach, which would be awesome. And it came over, got the whale's attention, led the whale out to sea, and then came back to the beach to hang out and sexually harass that man. Now, there are 5 different characteristics to a moral society, according to biologists Mark Birkhoff and Franz de Waal. And one is altruism, one's reciprocity, fairness, trust, and empathy. I don't have time to go into all of them, thank you, Sarah, but I do want to talk about the first 2, which kind of encompass the other ones. The first one is altruism. Altruism is the sense of giving more than you get. So you're helping someone else against what helps you out. It may be actually completely against you, but it is an idea of selflessness. So are there examples of altruism in the animal world? Well, they created a little test. Throw a monkey in a room, give him a button. Every time he hits that button, he gets a banana. Do that a few times so he learns that. Then you throw another monkey in a room right across from him, and every time that first monkey hits the button, he gets a banana, but the second monkey gets a shot. Well, they did this with macaques. And in macaques, 87% of the time, once they figured out that button was shocking the other monkey, they stopped doing it. One macaque went 14 days without eating in order to not shock the monkey in the other room. Now, here's what you can barely see here is a picture from Brazil, a highway camera. One of these dogs got hit by a bus, and the other dog is walking along the side of the road, runs out into traffic, grabs the first dog, and pulls it back to safety. I would call both of these, by human terms, altruistic ideas. The next one is reciprocity. Reciprocity is the idea of cooperation, of working together, the exchange of things or the exchange of favors. And this might be over long periods of time. So does this happen in the animal world? Well, I looked into a few examples it may have. Here's your friendly vampire bat. Vampire bats have to drink blood every single night. And as you all know, as you go out late at night looking for blood, sometimes it's hard to find. Sometimes you come home with some, sometimes you don't. Vampire bats are no different. Well, they share with vampire bats that may have shared with them before. The same thing happens with baboons. Baboons do it with grooming. If you are a baboon who's groomed someone before, they are more likely to groom you, and it even impacts how long you groom them. So if you groom them for a long time, they'll groom you back for a long time. So, the question is, does this lead me to believe that there is moral decision making in animals? Is this a moral culture? I believe from the research that I read that yes, there is a sense of morality there. I think that every culture or every society has a different sense of morality. So human morality is obviously different than animal morality. But on top of that, different species of animals have different moralities. A wolf pack can only have one alpha, otherwise the whole thing divides, no one knows what to listen to. Mongoose might have a lookout that if it loses its post, its snake gets in the hole and kills everybody, so it gets disciplined if it stops doing its job. But what you really might want to wonder, I've given a bunch of examples where one species has helped another species, which seems incredibly unlikely. But I do think this actually makes sense because it's the same thing that we do as humans. We pick our pack. So I think animals can do the exact same thing. So it doesn't have to be zebras with zebras and zebras with lions. Depending on the movie, they can hang out with anybody. But we do this as humans, by race, by religion, by political affiliation. We pick our packs. So I don't think this is a completely unique thing to us, and I think it does make sense. Now, an animal might be being moral when it bites the mailman because it's outside the pack. An animal might be immoral when it licks a kid because it is a friend and inside the pack. But the ultimate question is that poop. Was it moral or not? And it may have been, it may not. But ultimately, I think it may have been because my dog ate 4 bars of soap earlier that day.